All right, Steve's Giant Pumpkin Patch at Hemtight Homestead, July 8th. Looked on YouTube last night. 20 days since I put a video out. That's ridiculous. I want to do weekly updates, but I mean, come on, give me a break. You saw what this thing looked like 3 weeks ago. I've been weeding for 3 weeks. So hopefully you remember what this looked like last time. Got it all cleaned up. I'm going to try and do a real short 3-week update today. So I finally got some dry weather. I was pulling all this by hand, little bit by little, every single day, working from the plants out. And finally got some dry weather. I came in here with the mower and mowed all this down and tilled it in. The reason I did that is because I had a lot of mustard in here that didn't take off until the plants did. It was supposed to be prior to plants, but it wasn't. Germinated around the same time and grew like wildfire. I didn't want to pull all that out. It's a huge waste of money and time to put all that in here and not get any benefit from it. So mowed all that down, tilled it in all the way back up into there. And we're going to go over here to the 2501 and get started. All right, I got a fruit set on the 2501, turned 17 days old today. This plant is extremely challenged, basically because of all my bonehead moves. You see here, this is the secondary that turned into new main, and it's not pushing side vines off of it very well. I got a few back here and a few over there, but really slow on the side vines on this. Fruit's in a horrible location. This is not where I want this fruit at all. I didn't bury in any of the main vine because I didn't know quite what I was going to end up with, and now I am burying in the vine. Challenged plant. I did a couple bonehead moves on it. Number one, during the windstorm, I had the wind fence up around this plant, and instead of doing something right with that, I tried to be quick and dirty with it. I put the table with the brick on it up against my wind fence, hoping that that would keep it off the plant. The growing tip was right at the edge of the wind fence. Turned out to be a huge mistake. I basically made a kite, and the wind just lifted that table and brick right up in the air and slammed it down on the main vine, broke the main vine off. So, secondary for the new main right there at that point, and it's not doing spectacular. I pollinated these fruits in extremely hot temperatures. The average daily high was 96 through the span of 5 days, and that's when the fruit came. I didn't have any choice. I was doing gallon jugs of frozen water, gallon jugs of ice twice a day, in and out of the house, and I dropped the daggone jug right on top of this fruit. Solid gallon of ice right on top of this fruit. I got no backups. I pollinated the next two up the line because I knew I was going to be in trouble there. They didn't make it. I got nothing else. This is it. Just take a look at it. All right, real quick on my structure. These are the frames for the 8x6 greenhouses that I used to use to start the plants with in all the locations, but I switched up to these this year. Still using it to cover these. Last year I put a tarp over top of it and about 100 miles of 550 cord, cinching it all down. But these shade cloths we bought a couple years ago to shade piglets in the pastures, and we obviously don't have any piglets anymore. Not yet this year. Didn't need them, so they worked out a lot better for this. I like this a lot better. I just pulled them as tight as I could and zip tied them on all the ends. This one over here I put a couple of clips on as extra measure, and also I got some plastic on the front of it because I typically water from that side and I want to keep that area dry, so that plastic's to help with that. Plenty open, lots of airflow. Alright, so I made a trip to Doc Rotoball's plant this past weekend. Got a nice tour of his fruits and plants, and I came home with the stolen idea. So Doc, I hope you like that I'm putting your ideas into use here. 17 days old today. Not as big as my couple of others I got going, but like I said, challenged. Just kind of growing all wonky. I'll show you back here where I dropped the jug on it. And then another bonehead move. I had these chairs over top of it. I built all the structures one day, and I ran out of time and didn't get to this one. And I knew it needed to be done, but I put it off till the following day, and Daggone it grew into the chair, and there's a little mark from that right there. I'm not worried about that yet. Alright, like I already mentioned, I'm going to be pulling nodes on this early and often. It's in a horrible location. I didn't get to put a curve in my vine. It's all buried in. It's rooted in all the way down, and I don't want to mess with that. I'm just going to pull nodes and keep tension off of it as much as I can. I already pulled this node out yesterday, and I got decent slack in my vine right now. This one's going to have to come out tomorrow probably and prop these up. Alright, so there's the damage from the water jug. I got the stem right around in here, which healed up nicely, and then did some damage. It was really young, okay? I was trying to, it was just a few days old. Typically I get stuff like this where I don't keep these vines off of them, but that's not what this is. That's where I dropped the water jug on it, and I'll just keep an eye on it. I think it'll heal up. It's probably going to cause it to be a wonky shape and kind of weird looking. It's 17 days old today. It kind of looks like an acorn. It's not as big as my other 17-day-old fruit, and we'll look at the plant and show you some reasons why. Alright, still working on some weed reduction here in this area. I got a little bit in the interior of the plant there. I'm still been working on little by little, mostly in the evenings as things cool down. It's been extremely hot out here. All these secondaries, these are the original secondaries off the original main vine. I'm pitchforking those. I'm going to run those all the way down here to my J-Yowie, my 75 J-Yowie plant, which I shot some video of last time. I didn't show it to you. It was hidden in weeds. You couldn't see it. But this is my last remaining 75 J-Yowie. I planted 3 of them, killed 2 of them by other bonehead moves, but that's a story for another day. So this will get all this area. It's these side vines are growing really good on this side. Over here I'm mostly terminated. I turned the first 2 vines up that way, and they're terminated at those walk boards, and I've got all these working down this way. You can see my weed pile here I've been working on. I need to get all this cleaned up out of here, and I got a lot of cleanup to do on this plant. This one's I've been struggling with. Here's the back side of it. Here's a better look at all these secondaries. I turned a few of them up this way. I'm going to run in this area. I got a couple tertiaries growing off this first secondary. 1 there, 2, 3. I thought I had 4. I cut 1 off. So I got 3 tertiaries going off of this first secondary. I'm going to run them up into here. Here's my other field pumpkins. We won't talk about these. Not much going on. I do have a fruit set on the 65.9 Bergeron up there. This is 235 Razzo. 160 alts, 160 alts. I watered this morning, 6 o'clock this morning. Got up and put several hundred gallons of water on the patch. You can't hardly tell. I've been doing that twice a day through this heat. Still, again, I got some weed work doing here, and I've been working on it. You see where I kind of got this cleaned out yesterday, and just got to get in there and clean out weeds. I got some main vine issues on this plant. You can see I got a can fan down there blowing on a spot that I scraped on and used a little bit of alcohol, and another one at the next node up. I've been taking pictures of these main vine leaves every day so I can watch the progress of this. I hit it with some Eagle 20 the day before yesterday. I'm not convinced I don't have some kind of disease going on with this plant, but it's just not, it's not checking all the disease boxes that all the research I did. I'm going to continue to monitor each spot, continue to keep them dry and alcohol, and hopefully continue to be okay here. Alright, the 2222 Travis Ginger plant. This one is 16 days old. Fruit set up there underneath the hut. Again, these leaves just started to look like this in the last 2 days. I don't have any main vine issues on this. I don't know if it's just age of the leaves. I wouldn't expect that in early July. But, I mean, look, I'm not far from stripping all the leaves off the mains on every single one of these plants. So you see the rotoball plant behind me. Got some early leaf deterioration going on too. And no main vine issues with this one either. So I'm pretty close to By next video, probably the next 7 to 10 days, all the main vine leaves are going to be gone. I'm not dealing with it. I'm going to keep a clean main. I'm going to put a couple more fans in here and nurse these guys along. So secondaries. I've got first couple terminated, so the early secondaries didn't come off the plant. And I took this first secondary and wrapped it around, brought it all the way back to here. Terminated that this morning. I'm going to pin it down and get some rooting going on in here. Again, I got some weed work to do in here. All these secondaries from this point on are pitchforked. They're going to go all the way down to the wind fence. They get all that. Secondary production has slowed down on this plant pretty significantly. And I don't really understand why. The main vine, we'll look at in a minute, is still going strong down there. And then these are secondaries, same thing. First couple secondaries didn't make it, so I got a secondary going off right here, and I got some tertiaries I'm going to fill in this area with. Alright, so there's a look at that plant. Again, it looks really dry, but I watered like crazy. You can see where it's still moist around in that area. I'm doing mostly overhead with 1-inch hose, and I bring it all the way down in here, and I'm concentrating on the side vine areas, trying to keep my main vine dry. Look at, wow, she grew overnight. All right, 16 days old on this fruit. Look at that. Here's my hand comparison. Way bigger than the 2501 fruit. It's kind of growing long. I've never had a long fruit before. Big, massive blossom there down here. No complaints so far. Extremely happy. It's got a few nicks and scratches like this. I don't understand how fruits get things like that. You've never even touched them before. I never laid a hand on this fruit until I picked it up to put it on. I got a sheet of plywood underneath of it, 1-inch foam board, and 2 sheets of mill fabric. And no sand this year. I had the disaster with sand last year. I'm pretty sure it cost me that 1183 or 93 or whatever it was. I think got a pebble, and it's what cost me my problems there. No more sand for me. Moving away from sand, just straight up on mill fabric. So extremely pleased with this fruit. 16 days. I said I wasn't going to measure until 30 days, but daggone it, I want to know what it is. So 20 days, we're going to start measuring. All right, we will make our way to the 2144 rotoball plant. And here she is. There's a 3.90 Lures tomato. I've been really struggling on tomatoes. Not getting many mega blooms. And I thought I had a tomato on here. Yeah, that right there. It ain't going to be much. But right now it's there because I don't have any other mega blooms. This one here looks like it might have some potential. But it is what it is. Alright. So secondaries are growing like crazy. This plant's going to be 100% filled in the next 10-ish days, I figure. Right now I got everything pitchforking all the way up to the end down there. I've been working on cleaning up my weeds along the border. It's only going to get the dirt area, but I'm going to put me some walk boards all the way around the border to get back and forth on. As soon as I stop making this video today, I'm going to come through and get caught up on vine bearing. I got about 3 or 4 feet on each vine here that needs to get done. And so, super happy with this plant. And it got a little bit of bug damage down in there. I'm staying ahead of the bugs with Merit 2F. There's a look at all those secondaries coming at me. Doing the same thing over here. I've terminated a few secondaries on the other side. It doesn't have quite as many square footage over there as it does over here. Basically because I split up the patch to grow another giant over there, which didn't happen. Pitchforking like from the third secondary up all the way up to here. I got some weeds I still need to clean out of this area. I'm going to work on that this evening too. And yeah, I mean, I'm really pleased with this plant. It just took off like a rocket and it hasn't stopped. Alright, so this is the 2144 rotoball, pollinated with, I think I did 2501 Burnstone on this. I have to go back and look. 17 days old, not as big as my 16-day-old fruit down there on the other side, but still happy with it. Another bit of a long fruit. Looks like it's going to have big shoulders and probably sink down towards the bottom. But right now it's still holding steady, pretty parallel, but you can kind of see where it's bigger on top. There's a bit of hand comparison there. So it's a little bit smaller than the 22 fruit, but still I'm happy with what I got right now. I mean, super pleased with it. Was a miraculous feat just to get these things pollinated. 96 degrees, 5 days straight, and I did it with 2 fans and covered them 100% from the sun with sheets and 2 jugs of ice that I swapped out twice a day, and they all took. And I mean, if the season's a bust from here on out, that was a huge success, and I think I can grab hold of a little bit of positivity there. All right, I hope that wasn't too boring. It didn't take too awful long. With all of the struggles at the beginning with not getting plants to survive in the house and cold weather, and I went through 28 plants to get these 3 here, plus the 150, so I'm minus 24 plants on the year. Lots of struggles in the beginning. Everybody in the region's dealt with the same troubles. I think with everything that's happened, and you know, last video I talked about, oh my god, I'm not going to get any June pollinations, but I got all my pollinations in June, 21st and 22nd. A few early ones didn't take, a few later ones didn't take. I'm done pollinating. This is it. Counting big time on these 3 fruit. And I think at this stage in the grow, I look better now than I ever have in the last 4 years. So I'm happy about that. All right, I'm gonna stop rambling on. We're not gonna go look at the 150 today. I got a 10-day-old fruit set on it. It's not where I wanted. I had to do some funky things on there because the cold weather slowed that plant down so much. I couldn't get the main vine where I wanted to set fruit at, and it's kind of a mess right now. I'm gonna go over and clean that up, and I'll catch you up in a few days on that. But it is still going. It's 100% filled in, and we'll see what we get out on that. All right, thanks for watching. Sorry it took so long to get an update to you guys. I will try and keep my updates coming weekly from this point forward. Time gets away from you when you're having fun pulling weeds every day. All right, we'll see you next time.